The goal of this video is to be very concise in a way for you to stay safe this tornado season. This is obviously not geared towards storm chasers or even advanced weather enthusiasts. If you know weather, you already are going to know all this stuff. But this may be a video that you can share with family and friends to help them possibly be even more informed this season, okay? First stop we're going to make, you already see it up on the screen right now. This is the Storm Prediction Center. Let's take a look at it. If you want to know what the outlook is today for severe weather or up to a week in advance, this is your website. It is all here. So if you just click over onto the Convective Outlook page, you're going to see a day 1 outlook, which is today, day 2, which is tomorrow, the day after tomorrow is day 3, then you have days 4 through 8 as well. Now, the thing to remember is that the further out you go, the more uncertainty there's going to be with each outlook, and the more they'll likely change going into the day of. Let's click in to one very simple, let's just click into the day 1 outlook. And you can see here is that you have 3 different areas. You have the categorical. These run from general thunderstorm, which is this, marginal risk level 1, which is the dark green, but then you can go slight, enhanced, moderate, and high. Obviously, the further up on that scale you go from 1 to 5, the more severe weather expected that day, okay? Very simple. I think this is very simple. And then you can see down here, you can see the day 1 risk, which one it is, how much area, how many people are in it, the cities that are involved in that risk. This could be very helpful for you. There's obviously things like county layers that can help you. This is a very important piece of this, though. Know your county, know where it's at on a map, find it, and know it by heart. Also, ditto for cities, etc. And you can then also see, you can see the categorical outlook is different than the tornado outlook, different than the wind, different than the hail. Okay, this happens often during the spring. There's usually going to be a tornado hotspot. Again, these go up in significance from 2 to 60 on tornado. You see 5 to 60 on wind, and then 5 to 60 on hail. The further up you go, the higher the risk is. These risks right here correspond with the risk back here. And in fact, the National Weather Service has done a pretty good job of at least labeling how severe those risks are, working up the scale. Anytime you get something like, say, a 15% tornado on this map, you're going to have a moderate risk on the categorical map. Wind, anytime you get 30, that's going to be an enhanced. 45 is moderate, and 60 is actually high. And you get the same thing, hail, all the way up to 60%. And this is a good way to see that. And also you can get something called a hatch. You'll know it when you see it. It's when these outlines are filled with a bit of a hatch, like a crosshatch. It'll be like just very obvious when you see it. This one obviously doesn't have that, but that's okay. Down here, you can read the severe weather outlook. If you're wanting to learn weather, this is a really great spot. When I was first learning how to storm chase, first learning weather, these outlooks were a huge part of my learning process. So if you're wanting to learn more, you'll start seeing patterns and how they talk about stuff, okay? So this should be your first stop. Every single morning is the Storm Prediction Center. A couple other things they do. They have what are called mesoscale discussions. Let's take a look at one. I'll just hop in. Sometimes they're for winter weather, like this one. Look at this. This one is for moderate freezing rain and sleet on the morning I'm recording this. Okay? That's pretty cool. But you'll also have MDs for snow. You have MDs for this one is actually for showers, but with some damaging wind gusts possible. That's pretty cool. It shows you what the possible peak intensity of the wind is, fields that are plotted in the map, etc. And I'm just going to go through a few more. You can see, once again, line of storms telling you the severe gust. These are basically updates to the situation. Think of these as outlooks between the outlooks. There's a watch coming, or this watch is ongoing, so here's our update for this watch. These are very helpful And if you are in a risk zone, I would recommend checking back several times a day to see what the mesoscale discussions are saying. Could be very helpful to stay informed. Again, this is a huge learning process because you will see a lot of technical language down here as you do in the outlooks. But it's a great place to learn, but it's also a great place to stay informed of what's going on, okay? This is very much something that if you want to take the next step, you can just get watches and warnings, but I'm trying to teach you how to be really super informed here, okay? Another area, obviously, is watches. No watches in effect right now, but this is where the tornado watches, severe thunderstorm watches, are issued. I have a whole video on how to read watches like a pro. That card is popping up right now. That it's going to include everything, all the details you could possibly want, and how the probabilities work, and how these pages work, how to read all this. It includes all that. Not going to go over that here. Just know it's a great resource as well. Now, we have the National Weather Service. That's our next stop. You should know, again, this again plays into everything. You got to know where your county is on a map. If you don't, this next part's pretty much ridiculous. If you go to weather.gov, as long as it's still active, hopefully when this publishes, there's still a National Weather Service, and you click on your county, you will be taken to your local National Weather Service forecast office. These offices will have things like headlines. You can see here, nice headline. Weather story from Wichita. You can see it's telling you where moderate heavy snow is, light moderate snow. You will get so much information on your local National Weather Service page. This is a great stop as well. If you are starting at the Storm Prediction Center, then you go to your National Weather Service, they're going to have more granular detail, possibly even timing, very much more every person language. It's not going to be as technical. It's going to be more straightforward. If you really just want to look at it each morning, should be your one-stop shop. But again, we're teaching you how to be informed beyond just being informed. Really, really, really informed. Also, you can do things. I mean, obviously, this is just a pro tip you can click on and see your forecast. And this has nothing really to do with what we're talking about. Just know they produce forecast every single day. You can also see your current conditions. Heck of a resource for sure. And another thing that I do want to point out on this forecast page, you go about this forecast, it'll tell you where it's at, but you can also click on this link right here. It's a forecast discussion. This is kind of like the Storm Prediction Center Outlook, where it's going to include some more technical language. But again, if you're wanting to be more informed than just informed, this is where you would want to go to read what their thinking is, because they will tell you, the National Weather Service, while there's an event going on, they'll explain the nuances of the forecast, the uncertainties, the things they do know, the things they don't know. All those things will be right here. Okay? These two sites are going to keep you informed of severe weather. Very much so before the storms start. Now, there's a couple other things that you can use when storms start. The first one is a radar app. We recommend either RadarScope. You can see, here's their website. There's a link to actually download the app on here. It's to your phone. Again, not free, but also the other one is Radar Omega. We love both of these. I use both of these at different times. RadarScope is just radar warnings, that sort of thing. It's not going to send you push notifications, but it's going to give you really good, straightforward radar programming. Radar Omega is more of a full-fledged weather app with radar. That is kind of the central focus. Love it a lot. Now, there's also apps out there, radar apps, that give you access to other more generalized data. And we're talking about things like, for example, warnings that are then sent via push notification to your phone. Apps like that include My Radar, Climb, you have Windy. There's a lot of different apps out there that can do that. And you should certainly test them out. I don't know which ones deliver the warnings fastest or best or anything like that. But there's a lot of really great apps if you want that on your phone. Also, just make sure you enable the emergency alerts on your phone, because if there is a major severe storm warning with huge hail, a tornado, something like that, all that's going to be pushed straight out to your phone the moment it is issued, okay? Oftentimes you'll get it on your phone before you get it in an app. And also, obviously, local media, etc., can keep you informed as storms are going on. if you have a good, reliable source. So, I hope this was helpful. This is very simple. These 3 things, a radar app, National Weather Service website, and the Storm Prediction Center should keep you more informed than informed this severe weather season. I hope you stay safe this year. I hope that you subscribe. We do a lot of education on here. This is not the typical type of education we do. We do stuff that teaches people about weather, how severe storms work, how tornadoes work, all those things. So please subscribe. And remember, weather is for everybody. That includes you. I'll see you next time.